In this video, I will show you how to integrate GitLab Issues with TestRail, allowing your team to view requirements and submit new defects directly from TestRail. Configuring the integration will only take a few minutes. I'm navigating to the Administration section and selecting Projects because I want to set up the integration only for the project Demo GitLab Integration. If you want a global integration for your whole TestRail instance, just select Integration in the right side panel and follow the same steps. I'll select the Defects tab and then begin to set up by choosing the GitLab plugin. Once the GitLab plugin is selected, the base configuration and values are added. Now I need to go and modify the GitLab-specific instance attributes. You can find them by navigating to your GitLab instance and then the project, which in this case is called Demo. So first take the server and replace the server address in TestRail. Next, I need to generate an authentication token for the integration. I'll go back to GitLab, within our demo project, select Settings and Access Tokens. I can now add a new access token. Let's call it TestRail and define the desired expiration for the token and appropriate roles as desired. For the integration, API access should be adequate. I'll now go and create the new access token. Note that once you direct away from the Creation Access Token screen, you'll no longer be able to access this, so make sure to copy it. Navigating back to TestRail, let's update the token for the integration. Lastly, I need the project ID for the project I want to integrate defects to GitLab Issues. Back to GitLab to our demo-titled project, identify the project ID here and copy it. Then paste it in TestRail to define the project ID for the integration. The rest of the configuration does not need to be modified now, but here you can customize the fields which appear in the push dialog as well as when hovering over the reference IDs. These pre-configured fields can be set to on or off, and you can also change their order, which will be reflected in the UI. It's also possible to add custom fields you have in GitLab, which may be useful in TestRail. I'll now go back and update the integration URLs for both viewing and adding defects. The defect view URL links defects to test results in TestRail, and the defect add URL allows you to push defects to GitLab without leaving TestRail. The view URL follows a pattern of the instance of GitLab and the project. Here you can grab the instance of GitLab and the project. Then, similarly for the defect creation. This also follows the instance and project with a slightly different pattern. Now, go ahead and save the configuration. To test the integration, let's navigate back to the TestRail dashboard. You can identify an existing test run under your project or create a new one. In this case, I have some failed tests and untested ones in an existing test run. For our first example, go ahead and update the status of an untested test case to failed. And now push a new issue to GitLab using the push feature within the Add Result dialog. You can add information, comments, or attachments prior to pushing, but in this case, I'll just submit. Back to the GitLab project, select the Issues tab to identify the newly pushed defect now residing within GitLab. Alternatively, you can create a new GitLab issue directly into GitLab. Again, back to TestRail, select a test to fail, but instead, this time click the Add option, which will launch you into GitLab to create and edit the new issue within GitLab itself. Adding applicable details and assignments as needed, then go ahead and create the GitLab issue. Navigating back to the Issues tab, you now have two GitLab issues created, one from TestRail directly and one from linking a new issue initiated by a failed test in TestRail. Now that you've learned how to report bugs to GitLab straight from TestRail, let's configure the reference integration to view real-time information from GitLab without leaving TestRail. This also helps setting up test coverage and traceability by referencing issues in TestRail. Let's navigate to the Administration section and view the list of projects. I'm going to select the Demo GitLab Integration project again. This time, I'm going to navigate to the References tab. Here, similar to the Defects tab, I'm going to select the GitLab plugin. Then configure the GitLab integration for references. I'm going to update the token I had stored on my clipboard, take the GitLab server URL for the instance, and add the project ID like we did for the defects integration. Note that these values can be stored in user variables and configured accordingly. For this example, I'm using direct values. Lastly, I'll go and configure the reference view URL and the reference add URL, which again is identical to the one used in the defects integration. Now let's save the configuration. Back to the dashboard and to an existing test run within the GitLab demo integration project. I'm going to select a test run and examine one of the tests that I have previously updated to failed. This specific test has a defect that's already been created within GitLab. You can see that the ID 9 is a link. When you hover over the link, TestRail shows real-time information fetched directly from GitLab about the defect. If you click on the ID, you will be redirected to GitLab. Additionally, you can also generate coverage and traceability reports in TestRail based on references linking to GitLab. To do so, you first need to include one or more issues IDs separated by commas in the References field while creating or modifying test cases. The references you set in your test cases will also be converted to a direct link to GitLab issues, and you can hover over to preview real-time information.